who you are, but also why you want to be here, why you want to share, why you want to speak, or in the case of people that are coming, why you want to be there. And then if you are speaking, just a really quick couple words about your topic or what you're planning to share with us. Okay, does that sound good? Now, I will start with Jody Silverman. Aha, you're first, lady.
Hi, everybody. Diana,
Hi.
thank you for this. I always like meeting the other women. I can't wait to see you all in person. I have a request, though. Can we all post in the chat how tall we are so that we're not in shock when we see each other in person?
Got it.
I shared with Diana how many, and I say it because how many times I've gone in person since the pandemic, and somebody, I didn't know you were so tall. I didn't know you were so short. So it's just, that was like a little funny thing. So I asked Diana, who's taller than me, but it really is like the shock when you see somebody all the time on Zoom and then boom, they're in person. So,
Well, you know what? Can I just say something really quickly?
yeah,
Some of you were meeting for the first time. Some of you
you're doing it.
we're just getting to know each other recently, but most of us have just been Zoom acquaintances, and we've all gotten used to that with the pandemic helping us along the way. But that's the thing, like the in-person stuff. Gina, I see here, I'm seeing her for dinner on Friday. I'm like, hello, this is fun, but that's really going to be fun. So that's part of the reason why we're gathering in person. So go ahead, Jody. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
All right, so I'm very excited if you can't tell. And I'm also excited it's the end of the day today. And I am one of the speakers. So Diana and I were introduced to each other. Who introduced us? I
Not
need to
even
start
sure.
in a journal. Years ago, somebody introduced us, and Diana was part of a virtual speaker summit that I had done. I have done a few of those, and we just stayed connected. We have a little bit, we have some synergy in the fact that we both have communities and memberships for midlife women. My specific niche in midlife is supporting the moms that are entering empty nest and then beyond. So I am a speaker. My jam is mindset and happiness. I really am somebody who has a natural ability to see and flip a perspective to a more positive, not toxic. I cry, I scream, I get upset. But I do have the natural ability to move through it pretty quickly. And it used to baffle me. And there was a point in my life where I'm like, well, is there something wrong with me? Am I not empathetic enough? Am I not caring enough? And, we all have that doubt. And I realized, no, I am empathetic and I am caring. And yet I have this gift. So I started reading books about learned optimism and happiness. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, that's me. And I decided I wanted to share this with other moms and specifically empty nest moms in daring to feel all the emotions that we go through, feel the grief, feel the loss, and embrace what you get to do now. And I liken it to daring. Daring is my fun word, and my community is called Moms Who Dare. And daring is just my fun word and way of saying stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things. Because when we do, I know I'm preaching to the choir in this audience, but just stepping out of our comfort zone and doing even something as little as, I don't know, holding doors open for people all day, or saying hi to perfect strangers, or smiling at people. So much can happen when we dare to even just do that. And not to mention then the daring of jumping out of an airplane or a zip line, or enrolling in a class that you've always wanted to enroll in and learn something new. So my whole platform is grounded in daring to embrace this next chapter, discover who you are, and create connections and friendships as you go through that journey. And I do this through my community of Moms Who Dare, which is a Facebook group. I have a membership called Moms Who Double Dare, still giving you more insight into who I am. Together. And camp was my happy place, just so you know, Dare and Double Dare. And I have a podcast called Beyond Empty Nest. And I'm a public speaker, and this is what I love to do. So what I plan on doing is on Tuesday morning, get things started a little
May,
bit.
that's May 6th, 7th, sorry, May
May
7th.
7th, right before Susan takes the stage
Susan's
to
just
ins-
joined us, great.
to inspire us. I'm going to share 5 dares, 5 things, 5 actions, 5 dares that I'm going to dare you to be intentional about and bring into your life every single day. Choose one a day, one a week. Dares like smiling, dares like laughing, dares like finding ways to bring play and fun into your life. And also just being. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of these 5 dares and how they can truly lead to, breaking out of feeling stuck or unclear or sad, and have you see the potential of what is to be.
Fantastic. Well, she is daring, and your theme fits along with the overall theme of our gathering, which is really taking time to step back and dig in and open up to possibilities that you maybe haven't allowed yourself to dare to try, to dream, and to do. So I'm excited, Jody, you'll be here. Be there. Thank
I just want to say thank you, Diana. We all the speakers here, we all speak the same language. We just use different words to express it. And I think the beautiful part of that is somebody in the audience is going to hear it from me, that's going to resonate. And then they're going to hear it differently from Susan and say, oh, that's my aha. Or then they're going to hear Melissa or watch the screening and be like, oh my God, that's me. And I think it's beautiful that you brought a lot of different voices together that are all really speaking
Yeah.
the same truth and sharing the same way to navigate midlife and beyond, but in different ways, because we all hear and learn differently. And my voice might not resonate with somebody, and Gina's voice might resonate. So you just never know. So yay to you for gathering a really nice
I'm
group.
blessed with knowing each, we've got a group of 24 different women, and each are quite different, but they're unified in this passion and desire to inspire, and also to keep learning and staying connected with others that want to keep exploring different things. So let's jump on. Thank you so
Before
much, Jody.
Diana,
Yeah.
before you go, I'm just wondering, Jody, do you know, I'm going to put this in the chat, the Anna Quinlan's, have you seen Anna Quinlan's article on empty nest?
No, but I have
Oh my
her
God,
solo book
it's
about living a
amazing.
happy life.
Yeah, and she has a new book. I saw her on Sunday at a brunch. She has a new book out now, but this is wonderful. This was an essay on being an empty nester. And I know it's not a mom, but the best empty nest article that I've ever read is Bill Bryson. And I don't have that online, but Bill Bryson, he's written so many books, but he wrote that one that would make you cry about emptiness. And Rob Lowe wrote one as well. So
Doesn't take much to make us cry about
yeah.
emptiness.
Thank you for sharing that. I see Flown Away, Left Behind. Oh my God. And it's so true. I'm freezing up because I'm opening up my browser right now. So I'm going to stop doing that. But Gina,
Well, this is
thank
a
you.
perfect segue, Gina. Why don't you step up and share a little bit about you and why you're coming and what you want to share?
Yeah. Well, I was so excited to be with all of you. I tried signing on yesterday. I was like, where is everybody? Because I saw this reminder. So I'm thrilled to be part of this group. Everyone I have met, because I've been running pretty monthly, it's resilience groups, and every single person I have met through 333 has been so much fun and so wonderful. And we've had a few of us have had dinners, and I just commend what Diana's doing, because our lives would be so different were it not for the women in our lives who cheer each other on and help each other out. And it's part of that glue, that connectivity that makes life fun and interesting. I really believe that. So I'm looking forward to being there. I came to know Diana through a mutual friend a number of years ago, and I co-authored a book on happiness and living with purpose with Sanjeev Chopra. And I write for Psychology Today on the themes of happiness and resilience. And I'm work on my second book on resilience and practical things you can do to be more resilient, and actually getting people comfortable with the understanding that adversity is universal. No one escapes it. And so really it's being resilient, it's a skill you should learn. That's as important as tying your shoe and learning long division, although it's probably more important than long division because I can't remember when I last had to do long division. So I'm really excited. It's just really, really going to be fun.
So what's the title of your talk, which I love? It comes, you're just a font, you adore poetry, you adore citing different quotations. So what's the
And I
title?
remember what I sent you. My book is called Roses in Winter.
That's it.
And the subtitle I'm trying to remember, but how to
Navigate
remember what I sent you, how to navigate
troubled waters.
troubled waters.
Yes.
Something like that. The subtitle, I worked on it. I played with a couple, and I hope to have poetry in it. I love poetry and, ancient wisdom and modern science, all of that points to practical things on how we can be more resilient. I have to just say, I gave one of the best talks I've given. I give quite a few talks, was at the Roswell Cancer Center in October, and it stayed with me. And how there were 350 people, it was a annual survivorship meeting. And they were all there, and my heart was so full when I left, because we talked, and then I was on a panel about how they were resilient and how they were managing a serious life challenge and working their way through it and inspiring each other. And I love the topic. I just find it endlessly fascinating.
So you over the last couple of years, you've been interviewing all types of people. About how many people have you been able to be in touch with to get their stories for your book?
Wait, far more than I can use in the book. I mean, I have to, and my editor, we were just about to push my proposal out, and she went into early labor. My editor, right in New York. So I'm on hold now until May. I don't know, many, 30, 35 people, but I interviewed someone who escaped from the cartel in South America. I interviewed someone who lost everything she owned in Hurricane Harvey. Someone who was abused by a priest during his teen years. I mean, the stories are just extraordinary. And there were smaller stories too. Someone who's now about my age, but who had a car accident just as she was launching her teen years. And she reflects back on how what she saw was that life-changing crisis actually shaped her life. I mean, people who know how to do it, they have so much wisdom to share. And there are very practical things you can do to boost your resiliency.
Yeah. Well,
as you probably all know and could share with me.
Well, and that's part of the thing that will happen in May too, is that we're going to, obviously we have speakers, we have panel discussions, we have breakout experiences in smaller groups. But I really think it's going to be important as we sit in our roundtable gatherings that we're going to be given time to get to know each other and process what we just heard. So after Gina talks or after Jody talks, we're going to want to really, process a little bit of it personally, but also with the women that become our table mates, because I think whether it's in the line to the bathroom or, dancing with us later that night or watching Melissa's film that night and, gabbing while we eat popcorn, it's important that the seeds of information and ideas that get planted by the speakers, that's the fun of it, is sharing your perceptions of it and your own experiences of it. So you're going to stimulate a lot.
I just want to say one more thing. I was going to post this in the chat, but I posted it on the 333 website. But last week I was reading the paper and I was completely overwhelmed by the front page. And I wrote an article about awe, because after I turned away from the paper, I started watching, and I encourage everyone to do this if you haven't done it. Are you aware of the eagles in Big Bear Valley with their 3 eggs?
Yeah.
And I'll post it I'm like obsessed with these eagles and their babies, but it was so joyful. And I leave my computer on, I leave the screen up, and I can just, every time I walk through the kitchen, I can see what they're doing. And one of them is starting to hatch. We're on Pip Watch now, but I stumbled on this. And then I wrote an article about it. And the day after I wrote the article, I saw it all over the national news, but I don't know how I stumbled on. I'll post the article. It's just so much fun. It's a live Nest camera. And the quality isn't it unbelievable? Melissa, it looks like
Yes, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Well, I'm sorry because you told me. Well, that's cool. And, you know, we all need to do. I'm looking at Jen Puccetti because she is actually the woman that inspired me to be obsessed, watch all the little post-its with this book about awe. And so I do daily awe spotting. So your Eagles were a perfect addition to my day. So thank you, Gina. I can't wait to see you on Friday for dinner and then in May also. So let's keep going around. Our order is going to be different for everyone. Melissa, why don't you share?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm going to be part of a panel rewriting your story after 50. And because I guess I was invited to do that because I'm way past 50 and I rewrote my story. And my passion is storytelling. And that's how I ended up here. Diana, somehow we found each other, and it's been a marvelous couple of
I hunted
years.
you down after seeing 60.
Yeah,
like
that's what it
after
was.
60. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just been a wonderful experience to meet all of these women. And I've met a couple, you know, live, and it's like, it's unbelievable. And I went into it not quite sure how I would fit or whether I would really love it. And I was hoping that I would, because I've gotten to the age where if I don't really love it, I usually go find something else that I really love. But this has been amazing. I mean, all of the women that I have met blow me away. And the fact that you're willing to tell your stories and share your stories is so, so important. And that is it's just part of my being, is storytelling, listening to stories, telling stories. And the reason that I love stories so much is because every time I hear one, I actually get to look inside myself and think about, how do I feel about what that person just told me? And maybe they've changed my mind, or maybe they've lit some kind of fire under me to go research what it was that they were talking about and kind of expand my thinking on any subject. So, you know, all of my filmmaking, which didn't appear until I was 65, you know, I went from the corporate world into the filmmaking world on this just desire to tell stories and find women to make sure that their stories are out there. So my first film, Beyond 60, is a film about 9 women that are completely different, you know, very amazing stories of resilience and continued relevance. And my second film, which you will see in Bristol when we're there in May, is in sound correction right now. I'm working with the sound design guy, and it's almost done. And this is about an older woman as well, an older woman who's the oldest woman to climb El Capitan. So, you know, my goal is to make sure that people are putting their stories out for others to hear, because we learn from them, we can connect to them, and we can change who we are. I think stories can change the world. And the more that we put out there, especially when you get to the point where you're in your mid 70s and, you know, people keep telling you every day that you're invisible, you're not, you know, you're not out there anymore, we don't notice you. Well, wait till you hear these stories, because these people are out there and they are visible and they should be visible. And the more that we put them in front of other people's faces and ears, the better off we're going to be as humans all around. So I am really looking forward to being on the panel and hearing other people's stories and sharing mine with you, because, you know, mine is unusual. And I bet you would say, yeah, well, mine is too. But I'm dying to know all of your stories. And I'm just so thrilled that I met Diana and that she tracked me down and that she got me to do something that normally other people have called me and asked me to be in their clubs. And I've said, nah, I don't think so. You know, I would check it out and I'd look at it and I think, I don't think I'm going to fit there. And this has been unbelievable, unbelievable. And I think that I have made, lifelong friends, which is awesome because women need other women in their lives. And since I left work, some years ago, I left the corporate world where I had hundreds of people around me. I didn't have that connection any longer. And it was, I didn't realize how much I was missing it until I started hanging out with everybody here and, realizing that, gee, you can even do it on Zoom. So that was kind of cool. But to do it in person in May is going to be rather fantastic. And I really, really look forward to it.
Wonderful. Thanks, Melissa. And you heard that she mentioned the second film so on the first night, we're gonna, after dinner, we're going to wait for darkness because we're under an outdoor tent and we're gonna screen her film. So we get to be some of the first eyeballs, especially in person, to see it. So I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
definitely the first eyeballs to see it. So I can't wait for your questions.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so next I'm going to call on someone who is not a speaker, so don't feel put on the spot, but all you have to do, Pamela, I'm looking at you on my screen. I just am curious, how you found us, and if you have any questions or if you have anything you want to share with us about your sort of time in your life and what you're thinking.
Okay, so I am here. I saw a LinkedIn message to you on Barbara Scala's
I love it. I love
page.
it.
We used to be neighbors.
Oh,
I I went through Barbara's uh, transition, I guess. What would you call it, Barbara? When you were divorced and you were going through that, so we kind of went through that together. And I'm 60, almost 64, and freshly divorced after 34 years. And so just kind of starting completely over. One of my kids was sick last year, so I had to quit work to take care of him. And I've kept things going for the past year. And it's very interesting because I've been working a lot with a coach on manifesting and things. And it's like, I don't have a job, like a technical job, but I keep having these things fall in my lap and paying the bills and be able to go on trips and things. So this
man.
one intrigued me. And I thought
Wow.
at first, well, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. And then I thought, well, it'll probably fall from the sky and I'll be able to do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so I have to say
Sure.
though, too, what's interesting, you talk about Barb's transitions. All of us have these I love this book by Bruce Feiler, Life is in the Transitions. And if you haven't read it, oh my God, you will love it because it is really understanding how these disruptions of our lives can devastate us for a while. They can impact us, but we can choose to, and it sounds like you are choosing to
Yeah.
envision how you want to live your life. And as you do that, a lot of people, when I say, your dreams can manifest, they look at me. Some people roll their eyes at me. Some people go, yeah, but wherever you stand, all you need to do is read a little bit about the law of physics to understand that, energetic, desires and visions can really help. So I'm really pleased that you're here tonight. So
Thank you.
drink in the talks and meet these different women. You'll see such a wide variety of them. And as I like to say, our collective called the 333 Collective, we're from all over. We're all from different places, different occupations, different mindsets, really around, orientations about life. But we share a really common fascination for life and an embracing of possibility. And we want to go for it. We want to do and create the best lives we can. So that's the thing that unifies us all. And even just so far, we've heard that from each of the people that'll be
Right.
there.
And everybody's stories change. I mean, mine changed in 3 years. Mine's changed dramatically from one extreme to the other, to the other, to the other. So it's just always evolving.
And you're holding on to who you are in the midst of it all, right?
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Very much so. I'm very happy.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear. I'm glad you're here tonight. And
Thank
how
you.
cool, Barb, I'll let you go next. Perfect segue. Barb is a relatively new friend, and I'm just so excited to meet you and get to know you better in May. So you are still muted there, but if you'll share a little bit about what you and a dear friend and partner of in your law practices, I guess, in your old careers, will be doing in one of our really cool breakout sessions.
Yeah, so thanks, Pam, and thanks for being here. Oh, yeah, we were neighbors and we lived next to each other, and she was right there when I created my Bloom platform. So I'm all about helping women bloom in transitions after divorce. And my study law partner, Joanne Soha, and I have had really interesting journeys together. And after I walked the Camino in Spain a year and a half ago, and she walked the Kamano Kodo in Japan a little before that. And she called me up and she said, we've been through everything. We've been through marriages, divorces, kids. Our kids play together, right, Pam? Menopause, writing books and our inner and outer journeys. Let's do a talk on our walks and our shoulds and our shouldn'ts, what worked, what didn't, how we transition careers, how we have been entrepreneurs, and everything in between, the ups and the downs, and how you can really navigate your life with a mission map, so to speak, of which direction you wanted to go. And certainly our choices up here really determine where we want to go. Diana, you were talking about energetically and everything. My journey has been removing the fear, removing the obstacles. And that's what we're going to talk about in our talk, removing all these things. And whatever you're doing and keeps saying, it keeps happening to me, or I'm in this pattern, or I'm in this swirl. Well, I like to say, whatever you're doing, can you shift whatever you're thinking and the pattern you're in? Shifted over, because it's obviously, not choosing the thing that's really manifesting things in your life. And I know that sounds sometimes wooey, but we all know that when we get more aligned away from fear, right? There's two emotions, love and fear. So, and there's everything in between. So when we get more away from that fear and more toward that loving self, that loving life, that embracing, that vibrancy, we start really making changes in our life. And that's when I started making changes in my life. So I like to inspire. I have a dog here who's just decided to bark just
We're not
at
hearing it, so you're
5:30.
lucky there. We're lucky.
So I have a bag of cookies here, and as I talk, I'm tossing them onto him.
Oh, I love
He
it.
will not leave me alone. Anyway, our talk is called Unleash Possibilities, Seeking New Pathways for Your Third Act Journey. And we'll talk about our walks that we did. I went over 200 miles. Joanne can talk about her walk in Japan, but really it's that inner journey of how we were talking about resiliency from Gina, talking about how we were able to navigate the changes, survive, thrive, then survive and thrive again. And all the in-betweens is really what drove us, what drives us in our lives. And also, moving from careers that were law and just very, traditional and mainstream, into getting in more creative spaces. And also because we are talking together and we each have our own shticks. Joanne's more in luxury travel and about expanding your borders, and I'm more about transitions and that after divorce transition, especially in blooming. That we also talk about how we as women, I think you said it a few minutes ago, Diana, or somebody, no, who just talked about stories? Is she here anymore?
Melissa, yeah, she's up there. Our
Oh, there you are, Melissa.
Our queen of storytelling.
Yes,
Yes.
I couldn't find you and you skipped spaces. How that in collaboration and camaraderie with other women like Joanne and I are doing this talk, we raise each other up. We really do. We inspire each other. You know, when I used to play tennis, I don't play tennis anymore, play more pickleball, I think. But you know, when you're playing with a better player and they just up your game, your Quest conference it's going to be infectious and contagious energy. I already feel it. I feel it on this call, but amazing thing happens. Diana knows I did a conference years ago. When you get this collection of women and there are going to be all sort of connections being made. And just, you know, when Joanne picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, we've both done these walks. We probably have, you know, holes in our sneakers from them. You want to talk about that? And I was like, hell yeah, because that took a lot of courage to get on a plane and go by myself, actually, and not knowing what to expect, especially with a back that may be hurt or different things.
Yeah.
It's like,
Gotta
how am
have
I
a leap
gonna
of faith there.
what?
A leap of faith.
A leap of faith, and you know how you're going to make that journey and get through it. But that's also synonymous with things in life. How am I going to get through this challenge I'm going through? And we don't always know until we're in it, but we know with some of the things we've been talking about here, our stories, how we can reframe them, our resiliency and everything, our shoulds, our shouldn'ts, how we can then make this mindset work for us to bring us forward.
Yeah,
So,
well, I can't wait. One of the oops.
am I frozen or is
No,
just
Diana's frozen.
Diana, you're frozen.
With a good smile.
Yeah,
Well
pretty.
done.
You ever freeze and it's not.
I froze like before, Tina.
Yeah.
Diane, you're frozen, my girl.
Oh,
Yeah, she's frozen.
Sometimes if you turn your camera off and turn it on, I don't know. I know sometimes her Wi-Fi gets wonky.
yeah.
Yeah, we were on the
Sent
other
her a
day and it
text.
was.
I just
Yeah.
sent her a text in case she can't hear us.
We can go around the room.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
might as well
we
keep
know what you-
going.
Yeah, so Barb, is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I just want to fill this place in Bristol, Rhode Island, which I live near, and the shoreline is so amazing. And we'll be gathering in a great place. So tell all your friends and everything to come, as I know you are, because it's really a great part of the world. And I know we're going to, really all be inspired. So I want to thank Diana when she's on here for all having
She'll
us.
get back. She'll get back.
She'll be
All
on.
right, great. All right, well, does anybody want to raise their hand, or am I going to be like the teacher and call on the next person? Because if I call the next person, I'm going to have to go with my Ellie because that's my daughter's name.
Anybody?
Did you say Ellie?
I said Ellie.
That's a great name.
I write only great people.
You can call on me. That's fine.
All right, Ellie, you take the floor. Who are you and what are you doing?
I'm really excited to be here. I don't think I have met most of you, maybe one or two of you. Okay, Diana's coming back in. So Diana and I met during COVID through a mutual friend when she was starting out. There she is. We just kept going.
Good. I was afraid everybody be shut down. I'm so happy you're still alive here.
Yeah, we're alive and kicking. So I was just saying how we met, and I met you really at the beginning of this 333 journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so when Diana reached out, and then we kind of disconnected, and we've been in touch on and off for the few years. And then when she reached out, I said, "Oh my gosh, yes!" Because here's a little background about me. I've been a therapist for my whole career, 30 years. In the last 5 years, I transitioned into coaching with a really big passion for women and really a bigger mission of global equality. So every teeny tiny step we take to get there is in the right direction for me. So what I'm going to talk about is definitely related to my own journey of leadership. My title is something like unleashed self leadership. So focusing on, what's the courageous and confidence that you're bringing to this next phase of life, and what does that look like in your growth and in your creativity? And I love all the overlap here. Oh my gosh, with resilience and mindset and Barb, everything you were just talking about, there's a ton of overlap. So that's really cool. So I'm so excited to be together and to be with people who are up to cool things, and there's overlap. We're all the same, but we're all different in different ways. And that gets me really so excited. And as you said, Diana, like when we're coming together, there's just nothing better. Someone else said, I think it was Jean Demers, who's not here tonight, the deliciousness of it. I won't forget that. So that's a little bit about me and what I'm talking about.
Well,
And
Ellie, I
excited.
appreciate you. And one of the things that is, the irony, and like right as I was about to exclaim how, wow, we can be all connected by Zoom, I get zapped off. But so that really underlines to me how cool it's going to be physically together. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is magical that we can meet each other and have these interesting discussions here, but just make it exponential to be together. And what you brought up is a very important point. And Jody, I think you mentioned this, is we're all coming at the same underlying beautiful message in a very different way, with different perspectives, different backgrounds, different journeys, different disruptions to our lives, and different pivots, different everything, except for a philosophy of optimism and possibility. So I'm just so excited to meet you in person. We had a bunch of Zooms with Rebecca. Rebecca Moore is going to be another one of our speakers, so she'll be there. And I'm not sure if you guys ever met each other in person. Did you?
Met, and there's a few other people. Lisa, we've talked a number of times. We haven't met yet. I haven't met. There's a handful of people that I'm sure, like all of you, you've known people over the years through Zoom, which is magical, but way better to be together.
Absolutely.
I transitioned my practice, when COVID started, to all online, and then, very slowly started getting back into person. And it took me a few months. But after a few months, I was like, oh man, I really miss this. I love the flexibility of seeing clients on Zoom too, and doing this obviously, but being back in a room and sitting with somebody in person is way better. Yeah. So I'm excited. Really
We
excited.
need time for ourselves too along that way. So, okay. So you mentioned Lisa. So I'm going to transition to Lisa, who sent me the lifeline when I got zapped via text. Thank you very much. I'm like, oh no. So Lisa, why don't you share a little bit? Looks like we might have lost Susan Maycock, who is going to be, on the Tuesday morning when we gathered. Jody's going to make us dare on. Susan Maycock is going to talk about the superpower of self-love. And oh my God, her background and her take on things is magnificently beautiful. And then it will be followed by two Lisas, Lisa Arnold and then Lisa Hatcher, who's not here. But let's hear from you, Lisa, a little bit about who you are, why you're being a part of this, and then a little bit about what you'll share with us and interact with us about.
Hello, everyone. First of all, it would be really easy to just say that I am a photographer, but that's, first of all, pretty intimidating to a lot of people, or maybe just kind of boring to a lot of people. So instead, let me ask you, do you know anyone or can you relate to the feeling of being uncomfortable, being looked at, being photographed, being kind of the center of attention, even if it's not you, even if you love it? Do you have any women in your life where you realize, oh, they just don't realize like how much they have to offer?
Yeah. Oh, baby.
I have, right? Right. And I think it's just such a common thing that we accept it as the norm. What I have come to believe and appreciate and love about my job is that power of being seen, it is so much more than a pretty picture. The pretty picture is the result, was part of the result, but it is not the whole thing. And so I'm going to be talking about how you want to be seen, what stops you from being seen, and how that sort of hesitancy can show up in various aspects of your life. So that's what I'll be doing. And that's it.
Well, Lisa also, in the true meaning of the word collective, raised her hand at the very beginning of the planning for the Quest event and said, hey, Diana, I'd like to interview your speakers. And that was when I think there were about 10 speakers, and then we kept expanding. So we may not have Lisa have the opportunity to interview all of the speakers, but to the extent that she took time out of her day, again, like Melissa, she's fascinated by hearing women's story, but also, as you say, your photography, but in the way you interviewed them to make them be seen. We have a YouTube channel where some of those videos are going to start to be populated. But, you know, I think that's, to me, I was very touched by your willingness to reach out and use your talents that way. So thank you.
You're welcome. And if I may, just one more thing. I had a conversation with Lori after meeting her on one of these meetings, and she made a point that has really struck me, because as I speak to people my age, the assumption is often that it's about age, that maybe the younger generation is more comfortable because they're so accustomed to selfies and that sort of thing. And sadly, it's just not true. The same voices that we have in our head are in our children's or our nieces or grandchildren's heads. And how cool would it be to be able to be okay with it ourselves and help them to just be okay with being seen? And I don't mean looked at, I mean being seen. And that is the conversation we're going to have.
It's going to be beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. So let's go over to Lori. You just mentioned your conversation with Lori. Lori Crawford, you're muted still, just FYI.
Hi, everyone. I just want to apologize. My dog is snoring, so if you hear that, she's not going to be too loud. I am a professional life coach, and I transitioned to retirement coaching for Gen X women last year. So I started looking for groups that I wanted to be involved with that were focused on women who were in that age range. And so I landed on Diana. And so it was really just through a search on the internet. And I looked a lot. And then of course I really spent a lot of time on the website, and then decided to jump in and get involved and come to the conference in May, which I'm looking forward to. And I'm really looking forward to learning for myself, but also how I might be able to apply that learning to the women that I work with in my coaching practice.
I love that. And part of what is in most of our thinking, and Lisa, you alluded to the impact we can have on younger, not just people, but women in specific. And the fact that you're working with younger women, I mean, part of the inspiration for this whole thing is, if we can model an excitement about aging, if we can live lives that are full instead of lives that shrink back, I mean, imagine the impact we can have, not just on our daughters or our nieces or sisters or friends or whatever, but on women that are going to shift the way they look at aging. They don't shy away from it. They don't get freaked out when they think about, oh my God, once I hit this big number, I'm going to be done. You know, so I love the fact that what you said, that you're going to come and drink it in for yourself personally, but hopefully it'll enrich what you share with the younger women you work with. So that's really cool. Thank you for finding us and for coming in May. We'll see you then. Okay, so who's next? Jen Buccetti. Aha, caught you.
No, I've been making notes and I have so many notes now. I have to figure out where I should focus. First of all, it's great to see everyone. And I'm hoping those who are on the fence and not sure if they should come to this gathering, that after tonight you just say, I'm in. Or as I like to say, and something that I came about out of my work with Diana during COVID, is we designed a bumper sticker, and my bumper sticker is here's to yes.
Yeah.
So if anyone is pausing, I would say just think about yourself, think about what you need. And most importantly, this is all about connection and the importance of connection in all of our lives. And it was really an honor last September to walk the Camino with a group of 16 women that Diana brought together. And I knew 4 of them when we set out. And after one day in Madrid, before heading up to Sarria, where we started our journey, I can honestly say that all 16 were friends. So think about you and what you need and the best way to connect with others. And I think this opportunity in Bristol in May is one of those opportunities where you can just connect with others and really think about you and what you need.
So Jen is part of 2 pair of women, one in her
Oh, I
50s.
didn't talk about that. You go
That's
ahead.
okay,
Diana.
but we're actually meeting on Saturday to go through, but talk a little bit to what you're going to be participating in your panel.
So I am on the panel and we're talking about intergenerational connections, relationships, and really the importance of those relationships as we get older, and not only connecting with those who are in our same decade or generation, but really looking up to those who are older than us, but also looking down, I shouldn't say down, but looking to others who are younger, and the importance that those connections play in our daily lives.
Absolutely. And so Jen will be paired with Marcia Dixon, who's 80, and Sky Bergman, who will be on our next Meet the Speakers call. She's another filmmaker I've been gifted to know, and Melissa, she can't wait to meet you. She's meeting with, she's paired, she's in her 50s, and she's paired with a woman who's 80, who actually happens to be her mother. So it's going to be a fascinating conversation. They're actually talking a lot together before they appear. So it's really about inspiring us all to rethink how we form friendships and how we work with people in the workplace or in any situation, and how we look up, down, around, and around for connection and insights. You know, I was on a call with about 10 women, and they were all quite a bit younger than me, and I was blown away. And that doesn't mean I was surprised. That means that I really took notes. And sometimes when we get older, we like to think we're the old wise ones. Yeah, we are on some of the stuff, but younger people, we need to be surrounded by people of all ages and stages of life, right? So I'm excited you'll be there, Jen. And I think it'd be fun for you, Barb and Joanne, to talk about your Camino journeys. It was really fun. Okay, so next, let's jump to you, Christina. Hello. I talked to you this morning, so you know, you're bookending my day. Thank you.
So great. It's been so nice to hear from everybody, and I love like this synergy that's here. So I am I related Ellie to what Ellie was saying, like I am I've been a therapist for 30 years, and then went back and got my coaching certificate in like 2009. And then, and I, you know, thought I was good at what I did. And then the Enneagram sort of found me in like 2017. And it is how I have done my own inner work. And so Diana asked me to come and talk a little bit about how, you know, I think of this as the first half of life is about learning. The second half of life is about unlearning. And so, how do we use the Enneagram to help us shed the personality, defensiveness, all the things that we build up throughout that first half? Richard Rohr says, like, the first half of life, we're building our container. The second half of life, we're figuring out what to put in it. And I really love that. And so my work is I work with men and women, but around how to bring the unconscious to the consciousness and then have more choice, sort of looking at what does it mean to have a true nature and how do we pull from that as we're raising kids and you know, having partners and working, and how do we then realign with that in our second half of life? You know, usually there's this angst that I see. That's when women come to me, and that angst is usually based in you know, a lack of sort of consciousness, this like thickening of the personality. And so the work is to sort of thin that out. And yeah, there's just this like offer, there's just this invitation, you know, that I'll just invite people to respond to, which is just to self-observe and to look at the ways in which we get our needs met, and then how do we shed some of that and just redesign whatever is coming next for us based on something that's really, really aligned with us, which we usually find through Enneagram work. Lisa, I just want to say, I love what you said about being seen. And, you know, you really speak to this, like what I think is a shadow for a lot of women, but it's like, it is a universal need to be mirrored, to be seen, right? And so many of us have this resistance to that, either because we didn't get it as children. Some of it is type related. But if you think, like, every little girl wants to know that someone sees them. And so, and we sort of have to, you know, we fight that as we age. And I love, Lisa, what you're offering is like helping women embrace that fundamental human need to be seen again and welcome it. So
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Should we all know our Enneagram before we hear your talk?
you can. We have talked. We have, Diana and I have talked about like how could we do it. I am happy to. I don't believe that anyone's Enneagram type can be determined from a test. Having said that, I have one particular assessment through the Enneagram Institute. Their prices went up March 1st, that I think really points you in a direction. So if anyone wants to do that and bring it to the session, we can debrief it there. We can talk about it there. You know, I just found it to be incredibly powerful work. And I like to teach it to coaches and therapists because it actually fast tracks the work too. But for my own inner work, it has absolutely changed my entire life. And so we'll talk a little bit about that.
So that's a great question, Gina. One of the things I talked about doing for some of our talks is to actually have deeper dives ahead of time with the attendees for Quest and give them a little prep experience. And, you know, like you say, you know, that you can go on the internet and do a free Enneagram test. And, you know, some of that's probably pretty dangerous, that you might typecast yourself in a way that's the nuance isn't there. But that said, you know, Christina and I were talking about this morning, there's got to be a way to preview the experience. And also because the breakouts are selections, so everybody won't be able to go in, you know, Christina's or Ellie's, you know, talk or Barb's talk. They, you know, we have several selections. So we're going to want to make sure everybody that comes, even if they can't come to your session, has access to, you know, some of the information that can help guide them. But yeah, Gina, I know you would be fascinated with it. So let's jump on. We have 3 more people.
Diana, can I just say one very quick thing? I'm going to put I'll put something in the 333, but I do have, for anyone who's interested, I do have a typing course opening on March 27th, which is really about finding all 9 types within you. So I'm happy to put information out there.
Well, please put that in the 333 Collective. We have a sharing circle. If you put that in there, because, you know, I want to find a way to get myself in that. I'm fascinated by it. So please do that. Okay.
Great. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna quickly say the next three speakers, two I don't know as well, and one I know oh so well. So I'm just gonna ask you, Ellen, to go first. Ellen is one of those other women that define the meaning of collective, in that she has been a friend but a colleague for years. And when we started 333, jumped right in and said yes, and has been really helpful. And though we haven't convinced her to speak yet, I'm still hoping we can get her to run a workshop. But tell us a little bit about you, Ellen, and then we'd like to meet LT and Mara. I've talked to Mara on the phone, and LT, I can't really see your name, so I haven't spoken with you yet, but I do want to make sure we have time to meet you. Ellen.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Ellen. Yes.
Ellen, your sound is wobbly. Try it again. While you're working on that, I'm going to jump on over to LT, okay? And then you can hopefully come in toward the end, okay? Okay, hi LT, how are you?
Hi, my name is Lynn. Sorry, I didn't change my name information before logging into the Zoom.
That's okay. That's okay.
This has all been great. It's so wonderful to hear all of, excuse me, your backgrounds, your perspective, and it has me very excited for the Bristol event. I came into this because I know Rebecca, who would be one of the speakers. I've known her for years. And Diana, I think it dates back to September of 2020 that I initially attended something with you. So it goes back.
Yes.
But life has been busy, and I haven't had the time to focus on this. I am approaching that empty nester. And my background is I worked in the financial industry for years, and and as a part of that, career, which is aggressive, fast-paced, very similar to law, and doing a transition. Part of that career, I took a mentorship role with other women, and I actually started a women's affinity group within an old investment firm, very, very dominated, with a, the male presence, needless to say. But the rewarding aspects of that, there was quite a bit of, I did get funding, I justified it within the firm. I did it within the largest department, and eventually it grew from the top levels, grew to the top level of the firm. And so I just want to say that it was so rewarding on many aspects to build that bonding amongst women in the company, and brought in external speakers, created a website, created a mentoring program. And it was just so rewarding, but yet that was aside to my full-time job. So as I'm looking at things now in, my third or final act or whatever, I don't know what,
you can name it whatever you want. Yeah.
Right. Add on top of it, I think I have, from a challenge perspective, I have been going through what I would say is a multi-year divorce process in which the divorce was bifurcated. So I literally have been in litigation since 2011. So resilience, it's there.
Wow.
And it continues on. But anyways, on a positive note, just really looking to refresh myself in a lot of what you are all sharing and talking about. I've gone to all kinds of conferences throughout my years, and there's just so much to be said about when you really get women together, the bonding that's there, the barriers that come down, and the reaching out and helping that exists. So I would love to be attending this event. This is so helpful to really learn what the panel of speakers and what have you.
I'm so happy you came.
Thank you. Yes.
I am. And, curiosity and resilience all fuel, this kind of discovery. And I'm so sorry, as we're going here, Mara, I want to have an opportunity for you to say hello. We hit the 6:30 mark and we lost a lot of people. But I'm so happy you're here. We met and spent some time on the phone, and you're coming in May. I was so thrilled.
I
So
am.
tell us a little bit about you before we all go off to have yummy dinners, hopefully.
Hi, everyone. I look forward to meeting all of you. Jody, you'll be interested to know because of you, I'm coming to this event.
Yay!
I recognized
Because
you.
I am daring. I am daring to do this. This is sort of out of my comfort zone, but I'm coming. I you know, it's stage life. I just want to do this. My husband's just coming into the house now, but it's just a strange thing that the location is just serendipitous, and my dog's gonna bark because he's coming.
Oh, I
Holly, can
know.
you go
It's all
upstairs real
the
quick?
trifecta.
Okay, good. Everything, yes, everything's happening all at once. It's just the location, the timing, these amazing women that I look forward to meeting. And you just
Well,
never
I'm
know.
just so happy you'll be there. And, one of the things that if anybody was tracking the title of this event, it's always been Quest. But at first it was a summit. And then I'm like, what the heck? It isn't a bunch of thought leaders making policies about, life. So I ditched that and then I made it a conference. And then I'm like, it's not really a conference. Most people think of conferences where you go and you write notes and you go like, oh, I'm a little tired. This is going to be all energizing. I was telling somebody earlier, I got a lot of surprises. I'm not going to scare anyone with out of comfort zone stuff, but we're going to do stuff that's really fun and energizing and bonding and different, let's say, than the last conference you ever went to. So it's now the gathering and celebration. And another woman said, hey, sort of like Coachella for women over 50. I'm like, well, not yet. I can't afford all those bands, but I think we need to celebrate our lives. We need to celebrate each other. We lift each other up. We need to gather, gathering is essential. So thank you all for gathering tonight. And we'll have 2 more of these on the 13th and the 20th. So any speakers who want to pop back in, we'll have some different ones. We'll have different people. Come to all 3 if you want. It's just fun to get to know each other. And I am Diana at thirdactquest.com. If anyone has any questions about this event, yeah, go ahead, Jody.
I have a quick question. Are we going to get the recording of this, like that I can share?
Yeah, I'm going to
with
put it
moms
in
there?
I'll put it in the 333. And I will also, for those of you that aren't already members there, I will put it on YouTube but the thing is,
Yes.
I don't know that everybody wants to be public on YouTube. So I don't think so. So I'm going to share it in the 333 collective. Okay. And so if you're not members, if you reach out to me, Diana at thirdactquest.com, I'll send you the ability to watch it. How about that?
Can you just tell me
one
real
more
quick,
quick
what is
question.
the 333 Collective?
Yeah. Okay. So this event and these women that are here, I would say 95% of them are members of the collective, meaning that this is a little bit like a coming out party for who we are. We've been around for 2 years. We've grown pretty organically and slowly on purpose because we try to figure out how it works, how it interacts. And it's basically for connection, inspiration, but it works almost like, to use a really crazy term, like a shopping mall, not a shopping mall, but a mall. Imagine where you'd go if you want to be uplifted, learn stuff, have fun. And it's all under the same roof and they're all different. Jeannie Demers, who's not here, does the tap room where we learn about EFT tapping and how to tap away anxiety or tap away money fears. Gina runs the resilience room. Melissa has done a number of things and spotlights for us. So that's the essence of it, is come alive with the Quest event. It's very low key. It's not really like social media. It's like almost the antithesis of it because it's private. and it's safe. There are no algorithms. You know, Melissa posted a beautiful food for thought this morning. Somebody might say, I want to run an event and talk about a book I just read. It's sort of open as a collective. That word means it's open for women to come in and share stuff, learn from each other. We also don't promote our businesses to each other, except for in the networking gatherings. So we keep it pure. So it's not like a Facebook group that you join and everybody goes, come to my retreat or buy my thing. It's very gently, you know, get to know me, like me, trust me. Maybe you will buy, you know, my trip to on the Camino. Thank you very much. Jen came and had a blast. So it's that kind of a gathering. I hope that's clear. But
It
come
is. I'm-
out. You can join for 2 months at no cost. It says a
Okay.
charge.
Yeah. Well, I'm
It's
glad
charged.
that I saw Barbara's comment on your post. Otherwise, I never would have known about it. So
Well, it
things
really,
happen the way they're
as I
supposed to.
we've not done a lot of marketing, because I don't want it to get huge, and I want it to be with people that are excited about life. I don't want it to be a place where people come to be angry and complain. You know, it's about uplifting each other. It's not a place where we come to compete with each other. You know, it's a place where we come to really help each other. That's what we crave at this age, I think, you know. So
Great.
thanks for staying on for the extra 7, but please reach out for those of you that aren't already part of 333 if you want this recording. Otherwise, I'll post it later tonight or tomorrow there. Mwah.